Ottawa's Cupcake Lounge takes cupcakes to a whole new level. Think dark Belgian chocolate, Madagascar bourbon vanilla, sweet cream butter, 50 flavors, hand-iced. Husband and wife team and owners of the Cupcake Lounge, Claudia Arizmendi and Bill McGinnis, join me today to talk about pairing their cupcakes with wine. Welcome to you both.
Hi, Natalie. Thank you.
All right. Well, as if the cupcakes alone weren't enough, and they are, by the way, I've tried them. You're now on to pairing them with wine. We're going to get into that in a minute, but first I wanted to ask you how you developed a passion for cupcakes and baking. Claudia, if I understand, you were born in Mexico, which is the birthplace of both chocolate and vanilla, so perhaps that had an influence, but tell me a bit more about why it is you're so drawn to baking and cupcakes especially.
Well, when I was in Mexico, like many other people, and they bake with their moms. And so I was really young when I started baking. Years went by, I came, had a couple of children, and I decided to raise them. And while I was doing a cupcake cake for one of my children's party 14 years ago, is when everything started. Like people went to the party, they love it. They start asking me if I could do their cakes. It was a little different then. And it was just curiosity. I started exploring different flavors, mixing different ingredients, and everything started 14 years ago.
Wow. And Bill, your role, is it official taster or?
Yes, my role is CTO, which is Chief Tasting Officer.
Excellent.
And, I relish it entirely.
Good job. What a great partnership in all ways. So we are going to dive into this because I'm fascinated. You've suggested some wine pairings today that are probably not what people would expect, i.e. all sweet wines with cupcakes. I'm just going to pull a wine because that's what I know. You're the cupcake experts. I'm going to start with a sparkling wine. What I've got here with me today is Pommery. It's a little pop size. I think it's ideal for cupcakes. It's just too darn cute. Now, of the flavors of cupcakes we have, what would you pair a sparkling wine with, and what sparkling wine do you have as well?
Well, I think the sparkling wines go really well with cupcakes in general, but there's a few that we've looked at. So maple cinnamon would be one, vanilla would be another, and also butterscotch bourbon.
Okay, and why those flavors in particular with sparkling wine, and won't the sparkling wine taste a little bitter with those?
Right. I think with the maple cinnamon, the sparkling wine pulls out the maple. Doesn't seem to be bitter at all.
Okay.
With the vanilla, there's just a nice balance between the two. There's not a real conflict there. And butterscotch bourbon is one of my favorite cupcakes. It goes well with anything.
That sounds great. So we'll do a little nibble so we don't have too much dead air time here, but I'm dying to try this. You've got the cinnamon one. I think that's the cinnamon one, right?
That is the maple cinnamon, yes.
Maple cinnamon. It's very Canadian, especially when we've got Canada Day coming up. But have you got a wine there? Which sparkling wine did you choose, by the way?
So we have the Trius Brut, VQA.
All Canadian. Very good.
All Canadian.
Canadian is good.
That's good. Okay. I just try this.
So let's.
Gotta be.
Okay.
Oh, you're right. It's the cinnamon, which is obviously baking spice, that is working with the wine, and it doesn't taste too sweet. The cupcake versus the wine.
Okay.
I like that. That is really good. Wow. And then the vanilla, what's working there with sparkling wine? Is it just the vanilla flavor goes well?
That's a great question. We use classic Madagascar bourbon vanilla in the cupcake, so we're always very careful to do that. There's a vanilla bean frosting. So I don't know. It's just it really works. It's hard to describe why, but it seems to work quite well. So vanilla is such a wonderful flavor, and especially when you're using a high-quality vanilla, I think it makes a difference.
And is this the one? Sorry, is that the cupcake?
That is the bourbon scotch.
Oh, I'm glad you recognize them.
That's the one. Yes.
That's the one. Okay.
That's the vanilla, exactly.
And the nice thing is, like you said, we are not an expert for sure. It's just one evening we got together, we got a couple of bottles of wine, and that was our appetizer. So they served with wine, and we just start cutting a little bit of each of them and tasting all of them. We just kind of go, okay, this goes well with this, and this was probably for you or for other people. It's just to try out and see.
Absolutely. And you, we were talking earlier, Claudia, and you had an idea of like you could cut the cupcake in four if you wanted to make sort of hors d'oeuvres of it, because you were talking about appetizers before the meal, not for dessert, and doing this sort of little mix and match tasting idea, which would be fun.
For sure. And that is many people come and say, well, why cupcakes and no cakes, for example? Well, we start making cakes because some people just like the cake. And when I say to my client is like, you have somebody for dinner and everybody bring a bottle of wine, or you have a couple of different reds and whites and sparkling. And it's just to have the opportunity, to give your guests the opportunity to try a little bit. So it's really fun to have 6 different flavors, cut them in pieces, and just try them out, because you don't have one whole flavor.
Right.
You can share and have different ones for sure.
That makes sense. That's what we do in the wine world too. We have flights of wine, like when you want to pair by course, and just have, if you're a true hedonist or someone who loves experience and taste experience, you want to try lots of different things. So I know when I go to a restaurant, I don't always like to commit to one bottle. Well, especially if I'm alone. No, I wouldn't drink a whole bottle. But, you like to have different glasses of wine. One thing I thought about is maybe the vanilla works with the sparkling wine, or anything with just a touch of oak on it, because oak aging in wine will impart a vanilla flavor. So there may be something going on there. Who knows?
Exactly. That's entirely possible. So I understand I'm not a wine expert by any stretch, but American oak has a bit of a vanilla flavor to it.
Vanilla or coconut, those are all flavors that would dovetail together. And I would suggest, if you propose a theory and say it with conviction, it will be accepted.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to a Moscato, which is what I would expect to have as a pairing, because Moscato, wildly popular category in the liquor store these days. It's got a bit of sweetness, a bit of grapiness or floral notes. It's a pretty wine. It's a light wine. And I've got Jacob's Creek. It's a nice value-priced Moscato. Which Moscato do you folks have?
So we have the Battaciolo Moscato d'Asti, which
from Italy.
From Italy, exactly.
Okay, and which cupcake are we thinking?
Carrot cake.
Oh, I love carrot cake. Let's see, which one is that one? I'm trying to recognize them here. Okay, so the carrot cake has the silver on top?
Great. Claudia?
Yes.
It's got does it have the pecan?
It is it's a walnut.
It's
a walnut.
It's a walnut. So it would
okay.
look like this.
Yes, it's a walnut and pineapple.
Okay.
Some spices for sure, cinnamon and carrot.
Okay, and why do you think this one in particular goes with Moscato, the carrot flavor?
That's a great question. I think the Moscato has a soft, sweet taste.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's fruity and grapey, and I think just the way the carrot cake is put together, just some of the different ingredients that we use. So not so much the walnuts, but maybe more the pineapple. I think makes a good combination.
Cinnamon.
Also
spices.
cinnamon. Sure.
Cinnamon, yeah. Those spices really do bring it together, because they're balancing the sweetness. They're giving that savory, or however you might describe it, and really working with the wine.
Yes,
Exactly.
Let's try it.
So we're going to try some cupcake, Natalie.
Okay.
Hopefully this doesn't get too messy.
Yes, okay. Well, we have to be thorough with our research. This is a lot of fun. Oh, my goodness. This would be really fun to divide this up among people and just be passing around, having different glasses and different slices of cupcake.
It is.
Mm.
It is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are very good.
Isn't it? Let's see.
And and the Moscato just has that, as you said, touch of sweetness. Very nice. What I'm liking is both with the sparkling wine and the Moscato, your cupcakes are not making them taste bitter. They're really working. Moscato also can have a little bit of effervescence or spritz, which is a nice palate cleanser for that thick icing that you guys put on the top of these
Exactly.
Cupcakes. Okay, especially if you're a person who likes to lick off all the icing first, right?
Yes.
Anyway, okay. All right, so that's a great pairing for that. Let's see. Before we move into the red ports, I've got a Riesling. Now, what would you pair with Riesling? I've got by the way, it's a terrific Niagara Riesling from Reef Estate. Pretty dry. So what might you put with that, cupcake-wise?
Okay. Again, you might want to try something like the maple cinnamon.
Okay.
So definitely it does the Riesling, like if it's a sparkling wine or a Riesling, it tends to pull out the maple in that cupcake.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's and this one has kind of lemon and it almost...
Lemon? So we can try lemon coconut, ginger lemon. I don't know if they will go with that, but there is some flavors. So
I'm starting to smell icing on these. It's a power of suggestion.
Exactly.
Okay, and all right, so why don't we pause here and come back again to talk about some of the more robust red wines, dry red wines that you've chosen for some of the more robustly flavored cupcakes. I really appreciate your time today. This has been a great chat, and we will come back again because we haven't even touched chocolate yet. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.